Hello everyone. Good morning. This is Samiran Mehti. I am with second chapter on data structure, that is searching and sorting. I have already uploaded the first chapter of data structure, that is introduction to data structure. So kindly watch that first and then you can come to this. After this video, the learners will be able to understand definition of searching and sorting, types and techniques of sorting, types of searching, and difference between searching and sorting. Now, what is sorting? It helps to arrange an element in any order. The order could be ascending or descending. There are two types of sorting: internal sort and external sort. In case if the memory required is small or the data to be sorted is small and internal memory is sufficient, then it is known as internal sorting. But if the data to be sorted is huge and internal memory is insufficient and we require external memory, then it is known as external sorting. As far as techniques of sorting are concerned, we have bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, radix sort, and quick sort. Now coming to bubble sort, for n elements there would be maximum n minus 1 iterations. So in this case we have 5 elements to be sorted. So 5 is the number of elements, so maximum 5 minus 1, that is 4 iterations will be required to sort the whole list. So you can see we have 23, 15, 29, 11 and 1. These all are integers, and we all know array is a collection of similar type of elements. So these 5 elements will be held in an array, and I hope you guys know array starts with 0th position. So 23 is at 0th position, 15 is at first position, 29 is at second position, and so on. So how bubble sort works? Bubble sort works, first comparison will be done in 0th with first, then first with second, then second with third, then third with fourth, and so on. So here 20 in row 1, 23 and 15 will be compared, and this element has to be sorted in an ascending order. The smaller elements should come first. So among 23 and 15, 23 is greater, so it needs swapping. So 15 will come to 0th position and 23 will come to first position. And then in the row 2, if you can see, after 0th and first and second element will be compared, that is 23 and 29 will be compared. But I hope you can understand there is no need of sorting, so it will come to second and third element, that is 29 and 11 in row 2. So obviously 29 is greater, so it needs swapping. So 11 will come to second position and 29 will come to third position in case if you see row 3. And in row 3, after first and second element, third and fourth element will be compared. Obviously 29 is greater, so it will be swapped. So you can see we have come to the end of the list. So here first iteration is over, right? Coming to row 4, 0th and first element, obviously 15 and 23, no sort of swapping is required. First and second element, 23 and 11, obviously it is required, so 11 comes to first position, 23 comes to second position, and so on. And 23 is compared with first in row 5, so obviously 1 should be preceded by 23, so 1 comes to second position and 23 comes to third position. And finally in row 6, 23 and 29 will be compared, but no sort of swapping is required, so we have come to the end of the list. So here second iteration is over. Coming to row 7, 11 and 15, no sort of swapping is required. 15 and 1, yes, swapping is required, so 1 comes to first position and 15 comes to second position. In row 8, if you can see, after 1 and 15 will go to 15 and 23, no sort of swapping is required. 23 and 29, no sort of swapping is required. Now coming to row 9, this is the last iteration. 1, 11 and 1 will be compared, and obviously 1 should be preceded. So this is how we get the sorted list. I hope it is clear. This is one more example, you can go through it to better understand bubble sort. Coming to selection sort, the first column 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously these are index positions, and here also maximum n minus 1 iterations will be required to sort the whole list. So here we have 5 elements, so 5 minus 1, that is 4 iterations will be required at the max. So how selection sort works? If you could focus on the input column, in input column 0th element should be compared. In first iteration, first element will be compared. In second iteration, second element will be compared. In third iteration, third element will be compared, and so on. So as I have said, in input stage, 0th element will be compared with all the elements below it. So 23 will be compared with all the elements below it, that is 15, 29, 11 and 1, and among 15, 29, 11 and 1, the one which is the smallest will be swapped with the 0th element. So in the first iteration 1 will come to the 0th position and 23 will come to the last position, whereas 15, 29 and 11 will be at its position. In first iteration, first element, that is 15, will be compared with all the elements below it, and among all those belowmost elements, the one which is the smallest will be swapped with the first element. So 11 is the smallest and 15 is the first element, so both of them will be swapped. In second iteration, second element, that is 29, will be compared with all the elements below it, and among those below elements, the one which is smallest, that is 15, will be swapped with the second element, and so on. I hope it is clear. In case you have doubts, you could post a comment. I can surely entertain you. Okay, coming to insertion sort. Now again, here also insertion sort has maximum n minus 1 iterations. How insertion sort works? In first iteration, first element will be compared with all the elements left to it. In second iteration, second most element will be compared with all the elements left to it. In third iteration, third element will be compared with all the elements left to it. So how it works? Focusing on row 1, that is the first iteration. First iteration, first element is 15. 15 will be compared with all the elements left to it. 15 has only one leftmost element, that is 23. Obviously it needs to be sorted, so 15 comes at 0th position and 23 comes at first position. In row 2, second element will be compared with all the elements left to it, that is 29 will be compared with 15, 29 will be compared with 23, no sort of swapping is required. In row 3, third element will be compared with all the elements left to it, that is 11 will be compared to 15, 23 and 29. 11 on comparison with 15, what happens is 11 comes to 0th position and 15, 23 and 29 are shifted by 1 to its right. If you focus on row 3, 11 on comparison with 15, 11 goes to 0th position and 15 was at 0th position in row 3, it comes to first position in row 4. 23 was at first position in row 3, it comes to second position in row 4. Similarly, 29 was at row 2, in second position it was, and finally it comes to third position in row 4. And in fourth iteration, fourth element will be compared with all the elements left to it, so 1 will be compared with 11. 1 on comparison with 11, 1 comes to 0th position. 11 was at 0th position in row 4, it comes to first position in row 5. 15 was at first position, it comes to second position. 23 was at second position, it comes to third position, and 29 was at third position in row 4, it comes to fourth position in row 5. I hope it is clear. Now coming to Radix sort, for bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, there was maximum n minus 1 iterations, right? So how to conclude the number of iterations it requires as far as Radix sort is concerned? Pick up the largest element. So in this list we have the largest element as 1099. Consider the number of digits we have in the largest element, which is 4. So there will be 4 iterations in Radix sort. I hope it is clear. Pick up the largest element, count the number of digits of the largest element, and you get the number of iterations to sort the whole list using Radix sort. So how it works? First of all, put all the elements on the input, then assign pockets 0 to 9. In the first iteration we'll check units place, in the second iteration we'll check tens place, in the third iteration we'll check hundreds place, and in the fourth iteration we'll check thousands place. So 53 has units place as 3, so it is placed in third pocket. 1054 has units place as 4, it is placed in fourth pocket, and so on. Now second iteration is really important. In case if you want the list to be sorted in ascending order, go from left to right. In case if you want the list in descending order, come from right to left. And irrespective of the order, ascending or descending, it has to be top down. So considering second iteration, Considering the first iteration, that is 53 is the leftmost element, then we have 1054, then we have 74, then we have 6, then we have 656, then we have 997, then we have 8, and then we have 1099. This is how input is prepared in second iteration. And in second iteration we are supposed to check tens place, so 553 is placed at fifth pocket, 1054 tens place is 5, so again it is placed in fifth pocket, and so on. I hope it is clear. In third iteration we check hundreds place, and in fourth iteration we check thousands place. So 6 has become 0006, 8 has become 0008. Now why it has become? Because 6 doesn't have any tens place, so it cannot be pushed into second iteration unless and until we place 10 ahead it. So it becomes 06. In third iteration it becomes 006. In fourth iteration it becomes 0006. I hope it is clear. So finally we have got the sorted list, top to down, that is 6, 8, 53, 74, 656, 997, 1055, 1054 and 1099. This is the complete sorted list. Fine. Once we have done with sorting, coming to searching. Searching is nothing but the process of finding the index position of an element, right? There are two types of searching: linear search and binary search. Linear search works for both sorted as well as unsorted. Binary search works only for sorted list. So linear search for unsorted list, obviously this is an unsorted list. For example, we need to search 13. So how it works? It works with index position starting with 0. So 25 is the 0th position element. It will be compared with the element to be searched. 25 is not equal to 13. It proceeds to first position. First position element is 15. 15 is compared with the element to be searched, that is 13. Again it is not equal. Again it linearly proceeds. And after first position it checks second position, and second position element is 13, and 13 is the element to be searched. So here we can go for an output that 13 is present at position 2. Now linear search for sorted list. This is obviously a sorted list. For example, we need to search 14 in this regard. So it will start with 0th position. 9 is compared with 14, not equal. 13 is compared with 14, not equal. 15 is compared with 14, not equal. But here the iteration stops, the comparison stops, because 14 is smaller than 15, and since we have reached till 15, so we can conclude that 14 won't be present after that. So this is much more efficient. Linear search for sorted list is much more efficient because it reduces the number of comparisons. If the element is not present, you could directly conclude, but this is not the case with unsorted list, because you never know what is the next element, because it is unsorted list. So considering both unsorted and sorted, sorted one for linear search is much more efficient. Regarding binary search works only for a sorted list, but in a question paper if they ask search using binary search and they have given an unsorted list, don't get confused. Manually sort that list and then proceed with your binary search. Okay, so obviously this is a sorted list, and for example we need to search 7 in this case. So we have a formula for binary search, that is mid equal to lower plus higher by 2. And remember students, mid, lower and higher all must be index positions. Remember this, all must be index positions and not the element itself. So here lower will be 0th element and higher will be 7th. So 0 plus 7 by 2 gives us 3.5, which is equal to 3 or 4, because obviously we don't have 3.5 as index position. So you could consider it as 3 or 4. We have considered it as 3. Now midmost element is 3. Now the element to be searched, that is 7, will be compared with the midmost element, and coincidentally midmost element is the element to be searched. So we could conclude that element 7 is at position 3. But consider a case where it is not the midmost element. For example, 13 is the element to be searched. Then what happens? So in a similar fashion we will compute midmost element, which is 3. Fine. Now we need to check whether the element to be searched is greater or lesser than midmost element. If the element to be searched is greater than the midmost element, then our focus should be on the right hand side. If the element to be searched is lesser than the midmost element, then it has to be focused on the left side. I hope it is clear. Fine. So obviously 13 is the element to be searched. or probably 15 is the element to be searched, but we have considered that 7 is the midmost element and 7 is smaller, or the element to be searched is greater, so we should focus on our right hand side. So higher will remain same, and here your lower will be mid plus 1, that is your mid was initially 3, now your lower will be mid plus 1, that is your lower will be 4. In this case your lower will be 4 and higher will be 7. So 4 plus 7 gives us 11, and which is 6.5. So you could take it as 11 is 5.5, so you could take it as 5 or 6, but obviously we need to search probably 13, so that will be our midmost element, and again midmost element will be compared with the element to be searched, which is 13 in this case, so we could conclude that element is at position 13. Fine, I hope it is clear, and once again I want to remember you guys that in case of any doubts, post a comment and I can surely entertain you with your doubts. Finally, coming to the last slide of this chapter, difference between linear and binary search. It follows sequential approach, we have already seen. It follows divide and conquer approach. Conquer spelling is wrong, apologies for the same. And as we have seen, linear search works for both sorted as well as unsorted list, but binary search works only for sorted list. It is slower than binary and it is faster than binary because we are following divide and conquer approach. In case if our midmost or element to be searched is greater than the midmost element, we focus only on the right, we forget the left, so in this way it becomes faster. Since it is slower, it is preferable for small list, and since it is faster, it is preferable for larger lists, and search time is O of n and search time is O of log n, hence it is faster. So this was it regarding second chapter is concerned. You can post your doubts on the comments and I can surely help you with that. Thank you very much, take care, bye.